Okay, everyone. Well, welcome back for another session of Make It Happen, the book. I am Sherry Gilbert, the author of the upcoming book, Make It Happen, a guide to creating a life you love and not settling for the one you have. So we are very excited to meet with us another person who is making it happen in his life, Mike Jerel. Hey, Mike Jerel.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us. You're getting ready to hit the road.
I'm
Again.
honored. Thank you for having me. Yeah, that is true. Literally about to hit the road, and that's my life right now.
Well, if you can't tell just from looking at his background, Mike Jerel is a performing artist, a very talented performing artist. And I actually got a chance to meet him. I guess it's like been at least 10 years ago, here in my hometown in Columbus, Georgia, and have just been amazed at your journey from then to now, from performing in lounges and just locally around the city to up and seeing you on international TV on The Voice. So tell us a little bit about that journey. Was that something that you always planned to do? Did you always want to be a big time performing recording artist?
Well, it's interesting because I don't think that I initially, out as a kid, I don't think I initially saw this being my career and my future. But I think when the opportunities presented themselves, I started to take them, and it began to turn into like a journey for me. So I was like, this is a interesting part of my journey going to wherever I'm going, in life. And transitioning from all of these different careers because I've worked in different settings and I've been in education, in the educational field. It's been interesting transitioning through these things. So um, actually making it to The Voice after working so many years this market, of course, in Columbus, Georgia, working at Columbus, Georgia market. I was working on BB King's cruise ships, which is a brand that was important. Well, it was placed in the Holland American Cruise Lines, and so I was doing that for a while. And after I got finished with that contract, we did Alaska, we did Ketchikan, Skagway, and Juneau, Alaska. And I did that for over a month, left there, and then that's when I had the opportunity to be on the TV show that everybody knows, The Voice. So, you know, before that, I was teaching in Columbus for a while. I've also been, like I said, performing at these venues in Columbus. It's honestly been an interesting journey for me.
I bet it has. I bet it has. So, what happened? So, you were here in Columbus performing on the cruise lines, just kind of doing what you love to do. When you got that opportunity to audition on The Voice with the likes of John Legend, Kelly Clarkson,
Mhm.
it's Clarkson, right?
Mhm. You got it right.
I'll edit that out.
No, that's right. I think that's cool. I think that's fun.
All right. Okay. So, so you had this opportunity to audition on The Voice in front of celebrities that we normally just get to see on TV. So, what were you feeling at that moment when you hit the stage?
Oh man, it was nerve-wracking to some extent because in reality, it's a lot of hurry and wait. And then when you actually get on the stage, it happens so quickly. I remember walking onto the stage. I remember standing backstage when they called my name. I was like, okay, it's real. We're here now, guys. Let's go. Let's do this. Walked onto the stage, and to know that they are sitting a couple of paces in front of me,
Within
like
arms?
literally a couple of paces in front of me, and all they got to do. I got to impress these people enough so that they would want to see who I am. And that in itself was exciting, you know. And I think it was nerve-wracking. I said that at the beginning because I wanted to do well. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to do well when you're especially performing because it's a part of who we are. Like that's being the most vulnerable, in my opinion. That is being open to being the most vulnerable. You know, when you're putting yourself on the line. So that's my body. This is my voice. This is my talent. And I got to impress these people so that they like it.
Right.
So all that pressure was on you, on me. And got up there, played my first notes. And after I sang that first line, this is a man's world, to see them, to see John and Nick turn around. I was like,
oh my gosh, if you haven't seen his audition, go to YouTube right now and look up Mike Jerel's audition for The Voice.
Yeah, that in my mind, I'm trying to finish the song. You know, I'm like, bro, make it through the song.
Right. That was only the beginning.
This is only the beginning. Like I didn't even, you know, so that it's exciting because there's like, oh, they're with me already.
Right.
And then I saw them talking. So at this point, I can't hear what they're saying. I only hear myself. It was really loud in that room. So much excitement, so much energy. And I see them talking. And you know, you can see the camera go back to them while they're talking, while I'm singing the song. And I'm like, what are they saying? You know, and then I see them turn over and I'm trying to finish the song. Like all this stuff is running through my mind while I'm trying to finish the song, make it through without forgetting any lyrics, sing the best that I can, and you know, get the other two to turn. And so having that opportunity, you know, has opened so many other doors for me. And just that was just like the start of like that was another stop in the journey that I didn't necessarily see coming, you know. And it was really a lot of hard work. It was very busy, a very busy time. And really, I haven't stopped being busy for a long time, but that was probably one of the more busier times in my life. And well, now, besides now. So,
yes. Excuse me.
Was that a sneeze or cough?
I'm not sure. Yeah, this is gonna take a lot of editing of video. My part. You're doing great. This is fantastic. But I do think that it's great to see the fruits of your labor from the seeds that you planted for yourself and just being consistent and devoted to your talent and to the aspirations that you had and that you have for yourself. So The Voice is just one stop along the journey. There were several stops to get to that point. And that's what I want people to understand as well. Like this doesn't just happen overnight, and to just be true to your dream. Hold on to that. Don't let go of that, because you'll be surprised at the fruits that will grow from those seeds that you planted, things that you didn't even anticipate, or an abundance that you didn't even anticipate at the time that it comes and at the time that it came. So thank you for sharing that part of your journey. So going from The Voice to now lead singer in a legendary band, how does that happen? And what was that feeling? That's just another one of those plants that have sprung up out the ground. Was that something you were anticipating? Did you say like, oh, I want to be a lead singer in a band or in this band? How did that happen? And again, what was that experience like?
Well, the amazing thing about this part of my career is that they saw my audition for The Voice and how like The Voice, that audition opened up an entirely new avenue for me to have this opportunity. They saw me on The Voice, and the drummer sends me an email And David is a legendary drummer. People have been inspired by him for years. Um, when I initially get the email, I think it's spam. I'm like, somebody's playing with
No
me,
way.
right? Like y'all really playing with me right now.
That's funny.
So I call one of my mentors who's given me a lot of advice. We've done a lot of work in the music industry. And I asked him, I said, hey, man, do you know David Garibaldi? He's like, yeah, that's the drummer for Tower of Power. I said, man, he sent me an email telling me that they were looking for lead singers. And they saw my audition and they really would be interested in me coming out to audition for the band. Do you think I should take it? That was pretty much the question, probably verbatim. Mm-hmm. He said, yes, without a doubt. Like, this is probably real. This is probably not spam. This is probably not a scam. This is probably a real deal situation. I went out there, I auditioned, and they heard me. I went in dressed for the job that I wanted, and that's what they say. Went in dressed to impress. You want them to have a good impression of you because you don't want to show up looking how you desire. You know what I mean? You want this position. So I went in looking nice, and I had all of my music memorized. They sent me about 10 songs to sing, and then he sent me a few more after I initially got the call initially got the email that they wanted to audition lead singers.
Right.
The other crazy thing about this story is that I did not audition anywhere close to when I received that email. So at that point in time, by the time I received the email about the audition, it took a year to a year and a half for me to even audition for the band.
Wow.
Right. So like there was a wait period because that was an interesting time in the world. We had COVID. People were doing everything virtually. So people, there were a lot of things going on. And so at that time, the band were still, I think they still had someone because it's such a heavy gig that they weren't auditioning right now. They need to go to work. So that was definitely a factor in the wait, but just to kind of reiterate that like things don't happen overnight. Like this was something that had a seed that had been planted, but it didn't really show the fruits of what it could produce until a year later. So I went in there, sang every song from memory, and 45, 50 minutes, maybe an hour after the audition, the manager calls me. He's like, hey, we need you to stay an extra day. I'm like, for what? Right. We want you to come back. And anybody that's in the entertainment industry understands that if you get a call back, that's a really good thing for you, like because they want to see you again. They're interested in what you can do, what you can provide. And I went in there gratefully. I packed another good outfit.
Okay.
I went in there. I was prepared, so I didn't look the same. Like I was like, they was like, oh, got on something else, Okay. Like I came prepared. You just never know.
You got to be prepared.
You got to be prepared. I work with this guy that says it's better to need it and not have it than it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
That's good.
Like you better take it just in case you need it. And I was prepared. Went in there. He's like, we want you to do these songs again. Went in there, hit it, and he said, we'll give you a call. So it took me, because up until Christmas time, and he called me. Emilio Castillo called me, who's the band leader. He called me and said, man, I thought I'd give you an early Christmas present. We want to have you come out and tour with us. And initially it was supposed to have been a probationary thing where, you only go out for a little bit of time and we'll let you know. But it turned into permanent. He was like, oh, I didn't know I told you that. Which is funny. I'm like, yeah. But he tells everybody that. So, I don't know if he was pulling a joke on me. It was like, prank, got you. You really got the job anyway. Right. So I went in there, sang everything. played a little bit with the band. So they eventually, because they saw me play on TV, but they didn't know how well I played. Maybe, like, well, we see you can play, but can you really play? So then I had a chance to sit in, and so now I'm playing keyboard with the band, and I'm also playing trumpet with the band with one of the best horn bands, one of the best horn bands in the land, and one of the most musical bands in my honest opinion. Tower Power has so much good music. I was just listening to some of their songs this morning, um, and it's just stuff that I haven't listened to yet. I'm still learning, like I'm still catching up. Like, and this is stuff that some of them haven't even heard. They haven't heard it in years. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
fun when I'd be like, "Hey, y'all heard this song?"
Right.
I asked some of the other guys because there are 3 original members left in the band, and it's fun to like hang out and talk with those to pick up any nugget that I can pick up from them while I'm there. Like,
Right.
hey, how do you do this? And I ask for songwriting tips because they're really great songwriters in my opinion. Um,
So
lyrically, I'm sorry.
cut you off.
No, you good.
No, I was just gonna share. I'm drinking some water too. My cough sneeze. So, no, I think that's great that you take what you can learn, take whatever nuggets you can learn from the band members who are there. And Tower of Power has been around for 55 years. This is their 55th anniversary and part of what they're celebrating on their tour. And I had the honor of seeing you all perform in Hawaii and can attest to just the timeless music that this band has created and performed over time. And you're just such a perfect fit to kind of bridge the then and the now as the lead singer for Tower of Power 55 years later.
Work. I've been trying to. I call it, well, I don't know if embody is the right word, but like embody the personalities of the original music while unlearning it at the same time. And it's always been an interesting ride because so many people have been with the band, but
Let's
you
talk
know,
about some of those people who have been with the band. Anybody we would know of who's been with the band?
you know what? Most people um, that know Tower Power because they had this. They've always had the horn section, but they really love Lenny Williams' voice. Lenny Williams is probably one of the more iconic voices of music in general. Like you hear Lenny's voice and
You
like,
know Lenny's voice. If
you're
anybody,
like, oh, that's Lenny Williams. Without a doubt, like that's Lenny Williams. Like, hey,
look
you
him up.
try
You're gonna know
Benjamin.
exactly who Lenny Williams is. I
You
promise
know
you.
who he is.
You know who he is.
And so that has been, if I could say that anybody with, or Lenny Pickett. Lenny Pickett's a tenor sax player that plays on what is it, the Tonight Show? He's the music director for the band there. A lot of people know him. You got Chester Thompson or even Michael Jeffries. I don't know. It just depends on your style of music and what you're listening to. But all of those people were iconic, still iconic. But Lenny's voice was probably one of them that said I actually like Rick Stevens too. His voice he's got that. It's that soul. It reminds you. That's the only way I can put it into words. I know that I should be able to come up with better words, but it's like so soulful. He was the one that recorded "Young Man," if I'm not mistaken. I
Yes.
didn't do my research. And a lot of those, a lot of the other hits that are popular. But Rick Stevens, his voice was really good. He got into some crazy stuff though.
Okay.
So his career with them was short.
Oh man. And that's one of their biggest hits. If one who did Young Man.
Yeah. He was Tower of Power. what songs did Rick Stevens play? Sparkling in the Sand, You're Still a Young Man. Yep. Uh, but if you go back and listen to some of the stuff that they did in '68, oh, right before Lenny joined the band, because I think Lenny was the next singer after Rick. And his voice on there is just it's got so much edge to it. We're talking about so much character in his voice. So anyway, that's a list of the people that I can think of that people might know. I might want to go and discover. Might want to go say, hey, let me look at some of these artists.
Yeah, musical adventure.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Well, I do want to give an opportunity for a couple of things. So this is just kind of to prep you. But so I want to give an opportunity for you to give some advice for someone who has a dream, has a seed that they've planted, and they feel like, oh, that's like all the way up here, like that's like Mike Jerel's level. I don't know if I can reach that. And then also, if there's anything that you want to promote for yourself, or it just be like your socials or products or your band or your own music projects that you're working on. So then I'll like come back and ask you if you want to think about it.
No, that's fine. No, I can think of you said some advice.
Yeah. Okay. So let me bring you in.
Okay.
All right. So Mike, for people out there who feel like they have a dream, they're really passionate, whether it's music or whatever their talent is, but they feel like that's unattainable. I'm not sure I can get there. I'm not sure I can reach that level. What advice would you give someone to just hang on and to stay steadfast, working and believing in that dream?
I think one of the biggest lessons that I've learned during any obstacle that I've encountered was to conquer it. If you are faced with something, you need to work through it. And I think that piece of advice for me, and I've gone through so many situations in that instance and where I felt like, hey man, this obstacle is too big for me to work through. But I had to come to my senses and find the strength within myself, and even pray for God to be my strength, even in the places in which I was weak.
Amen.
That principle has helped carry me through so many things. And that's everything I've done. I was just like, hey, sometimes I understand that, it ain't just me, it's something else, or there's God that is there. It's not just, me by myself, or plus with the faith and the work that you have to put in with it. Because we can pray all day, and if you don't work towards the things that you're praying for, they're not going to happen.
Right.
So if that's your principle, if that's how you approach, if that's how I have approached things, that's the advice I would give somebody else that's approaching difficulties, or they feel like they're running into obstacles. If they feel like it's something that they can't achieve, or if it's something that they want to work towards, they've got goals. You just got to keep working at it. And when those opportunities present themselves, you'll be ready.
Yes. You'll be ready.
You work towards it, you don't stop. Yeah, you'll be ready. You gotta go in there, you just gotta do it. And the hardest part is starting most times. But once you start it, finish it. Just go through, do it.
Exactly.
Conquer it. That's it.
Conquer it.
Yep, conquer it.
Stated by Mike Jerel, and you provided such an excellent example of you conquering your goals and how one goal and what one accomplishment led to the next. The reason you're on or performing as lead singer with Tower of Power is because they saw your audition. You took that step to audition, and that opened another door. So we have sort of that ripple effect of these opportunities that come just because you were obedient to what your dream was and to what your plan was for your life, and that has served you well. So, well, before we wrap up, is there anything that you would like to share? Anything that you would like to promote? Any ways that we can keep up with what you're doing?
Absolutely. If you're not following me already, make your way over to all of the social media platforms. You've got Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find me at Mike Jerel, Mikejerel. If you're on TikTok, it's Mike Jerel Official. You can find me there. And if you would like to see me out on the road right now, I'm working more on a national and international basis with Tower of Power. So if you want to find me while I'm out with Tower of Power, go to towerofpower.com/tour. That'll give you all of the tour dates. If you want to take a vacation, you want to find somewhere to go, we've got Europe coming up. Meet us there. We've got a holiday tour coming up. We'll be doing, in which we'll be releasing our first ever Christmas album.
Oh,
And so you should come and find us if we come to a city near you. And also, I am working on my personal music. So I've got a lot of songs that I'm sitting on. So honestly, I am a person that likes to surprise people. So I will drop
surprise,
stuff.
like
I would drop things out the blue sometimes. So follow me on my social medias to know what I'm doing, when I'm doing, because I will post all of my personal stuff there, plus some tour stuff as well. You get the behind the scenes and my adventures in my cities that I go to. And so if you're into that kind of stuff, you can follow me there. And that's it.
all right. Well, there you have it. All of the ways to keep in touch with Mike Jerel and what his latest adventures are. Really excited about what you have coming up with Tower of Power, as well as your own projects as Mike Jerel. Can we get a shot of this hat? I want to see
Oh,
this
yes.
for you. Look at that.
Mike Jerel.
There you go.
There we go.
All of the socials, Mike Jerel Official on TikTok. Thank you so much, Mike Jerel, for taking some time with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You're very welcome. We look so forward to what you have coming up. Bye. Thank you again for joining us.
Peace. Thank you.